You know, RHM Sabbath Reboot Guide has 10 core principles right here in front of us, completely open for your unique interpretation. We welcome you to join us as we sculpt a weekly timeout into our lives and continue this momentum into eternity. Exodus 20, verses 8 through 9, and Deuteronomy 5:12 through 14 talk about the Sabbath. Honor the Sabbath. So what I'm saying is the Lord put that there for a reason, and it's for us to reboot after 6 days of plugging away and getting knocked around and dealing with work and all the things that come at you. That seventh day or that Sabbath day to rest and recreate. Let's take a look at the core principles that I've suggested that you think about. Now, remember, this is open for your unique interpretation, for you to apply it to your life, to your home, and how you will go about it. But if you do it, you will find that you will find more rest, you will strengthen, you'll renew. So let's take a look at them. Core principles for rebooting on the Sabbath day. Number one, avoid technology. Real simple one. You can just apply that any way you want. But minimize technology. Number two, connect with loved ones. That's friends, family, extended family. Having people over and having lunch together or just hanging out together. Going for a walk, doing something. Number three, eat, drink, and celebrate. Make the Sabbath a day to eat, drink, and celebrate. It's not the day to be on your diet. It's not the day to be fasting. It's not the day to be afflicting yourself with anything. It's a day to rest and recreate and reboot spiritually, physically, and emotionally. So eat, drink, and celebrate on the Sabbath. Number four, nurture your health. Good day to regroup and replenish yourself, relax, take a nap, just rest, listen to some good music. Number five, get outside. Go for a walk, get some fresh air. Walk along the river, walk along the beach, go for a little hike on a path. Don't climb 8,000-foot mountains. That's not necessarily the most easy. That's not really a resting kind of thing. You may like it, and it may be your recreational thing, but, I'm talking about resting, relaxing, not doing such strenuous things. Don't do things to rest that are so strenuous that you have to go back to work in order to rest. Number six, replenish, restore, and reestablish. Great things to do. Replenish yourself, restore yourself, reestablish yourself, reorient yourself for the week to come. Number seven, avoid commerce. Don't make it your big shopping day. The Sabbath day is not the day to go grocery shopping for the week. It's not. Just put that kind of stuff away. Kind of try to, keep out of that hub and busyness of commerce. Number eight, shun weekly routines. Put your weekly routines aside. Just put them away, set them aside. Don't do them. It's not laundry day. It's not vacuuming. It's not dusting day. It's not the oil change day. So avoid commerce. Number eight, shun weekly routines. Don't do the normal weekly things that you do on all week long on Sabbath. Those things that you do on 6 days, during the 6 days of your week, don't do them on Sabbath. Develop a rest routine. Develop a time where you don't have so many things going on that you have to reboot your personal hard drive in order to get it to run smoothly. In other words, shun those weekly routines that you get into. Just put them aside and do other things. Let this be a whole day of just reconnecting emotionally, spiritually, and physically. Number nine, find silence. Find the opportunity to be quiet, be silent. Take a nap. Read a book. Take some time for yourself. Wait on the Lord. Little time of prayer. Watch movies on the back of your eyelids. Anyhow, find time to just hear your voice and the voice of the Lord. Number 10, give back. Give of yourself to others, your friends, your family, those around you. You can even do something nice for someone. Go visit grandma. Go visit someone that's elderly in your fellowship or your neighbor and go over and just spend some time with them. But give back of yourself. So, friends, there are 10 core principles that we are suggesting that you consider. They're open for your unique interpretation. And here they are. Avoid technology, connect with loved ones, eat, drink, celebrate, nurture your health, get outside, replenish, restore, reestablish. Avoid commerce. Shun weekly routines, your normal weekly routines of those 6 days that you spend doing all those other things. Shun those. Put them aside. Don't mess with them if at all possible. Find a time of silence. And number 10, give back. Besides the noble art of getting things done, there is the noble art of leaving things undone. Friends, I'm going to take some time now and I'm going to show you some of the scriptures that talk about the Sabbath. You just read them and let them speak to you from the scripture. And I'm not going to try to, in this short little time frame, try to say that it should be Sabbath is Saturday or Sabbath is Sunday. I don't want to be in that argument at all. We personally worship on and celebrate the Sabbath on Saturday, which we believe is the Sabbath, and that's what the Lord meant. But I don't want to be in that argument at all, because the whole thing I've been trying to share with us in this particular one and Sabbath reboot is to take the time. If you're going to church on Sunday, the Bible does not say that you can't have a congregational gathering on Sunday. I'm talking about the Sabbath, learning to rest. Okay? You can meet on Saturday, you can meet on Sunday, you can meet on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You can have your congregational gathering anytime. In Israel, they got together and they met on the Sabbath and read the Torah, went to the synagogue, and that's where the church birthed out of those kinds of things during that season of time. That's how the church birthed, was from that particular experience in Asia Minor. All right? So, anyhow, the Sabbath truth, come unto me and I will give you rest. That's what the Lord's talking about here in Matthew 11:28. The Sabbath. Come unto me. I am the Lord of the Sabbath. I have made the Sabbath for you, and I want you to come unto me and rest on the Sabbath. Now, I want to talk about the fact that the fourth commandment, I call it the transitional commandment. It's number 4. And this is what it says in Deuteronomy 5:12 through 14 and Exodus 28 through 9. Remember the Sabbath day. That's vertical. All right? So the fourth commandment's right there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fourth commandment. Then you have 5 on. The first 3 commandments are about vertical relationship with us and the Father. 5 through 10 is about observe, or the Sabbath day. It's the horizontal thing. We observe it. We protect it. We don't let anything take us away from it. We actually protect that day. So 1, we remember. Why? Because we love him and we obey his word, right? Keep the Sabbath holy. And so we remember Exodus 28 through 9, and then we also observe it. In other words, I gave you 10 protocols that work really well for observing. In other words, we protect it. That's about our horizontal relationship. So Exodus 16:4 says, Adonai said to Moshe, here, I will cause bread to rain down from heaven for you. The people are to go out and gather a day's ration every day. By this I will test whether they will observe my Torah, my teaching and instructions, or not. So I will test. See, I think sometimes it's really a test as to whether or not we're going to remember and observe the Sabbath. Are we going to remember it because we love him? And are we going to protect our day of rest and observe it and interact with those around us as we rest. I gave you 10 things to do in those protocols. So anyhow, let's keep going. The transitional commandment, remember the Sabbath day, vertical. Observe the Sabbath day, horizontal. Now look what Matthew 5:17 says. Think not that I have come to destroy the law or the prophets. I have not come to destroy, but to fulfill. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall no wise pass from the law till all be fulfilled. So nothing's passed away. The Sabbath is still the Sabbath. All right? And we're supposed to remember it and observe it. So I am encouraging you to take a day to reboot and refresh emotionally, physically, and spiritually. Remember and observe. Vertical, by remembering because I love the Lord. Observe, because I interact with my friends, but I don't let my day get all wasted with the normal things that I do 6 days during the week. I don't do that. I set aside a time to rest. The fourth commandment is the transitional commandment. It is both vertical and horizontal. It is the conjunction. It connects. It's that conjunction commandment about remember and observe. Exodus 28-9. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. It means to mark. That's what the word remember here means. It means to mark so as to be recognized, to remember. In other words, we mark it. It's like, okay, on my calendar, on Sabbath, it is a day that I remember and I set aside, and it's marked. I don't let anything else take away from it. Then Deuteronomy 5:12-14. Observe the Sabbath day to keep it holy as the Lord your God commanded you. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord your God. In it you shall do no work. Now what that actually means, observe, means to properly hedge about, to guard, to protect. So in other words, we mark it, right? We recognize it. Why? Vertical, because we love the Lord, we're doing it. We observe it on the Sabbath because it has to do with what? Protecting, hedging, guarding, what? So that we can have horizontal relationship. In other words, we don't make it our shopping day. We don't make it the day to change the oil. We don't go out and do the lawn and trim the hedge and all that kind of stuff because why? We observe it, we rest, we relax, we recreate, we refresh ourselves emotionally, spiritually, and physically. So we remember and we observe. We mark it and we guard it. Now, we change our minds and God changes our hearts. Now, let's take a look at these scriptures. If you turn away your foot from traveling unduly on the Sabbath, from doing your own pleasure on my holy day, and call the Sabbath a spiritual delight, okay? It's not a bondage. It's not law. It's not legalism. It's not trying to crush you or keep you from doing anything. It's a spiritual delight. The holy day of the Lord, honorable and honor him, and it. Honor the Lord and it. In other words, what? Transitional commandment, 1-3, and it, 5-10. Not going your own way or seeking or finding your own pleasure or speaking with your own idle words. Then will you delight yourself. See, then will you delight yourself. If you do these things, then you will delight yourself in the Lord, and I will make you ride on the high places of the earth, and I will feed you with the heritage promised for you of your Jacob, your father, for the mouth of the Lord has spoken. The mouth of the Lord has spoken. I will make you to ride on the high places. I will feed you. I will continue to bless you. If you delight yourself in me. Well, there's only one way to do that. That's to rest and take that reboot every week. Now, also, you got to take vacations and things like that, but I'm saying every week there's a thing set aside by the Lord for us to reboot ourselves and so that we can take on the 6 days again. Well, friends, here's the 10 commandments. And you can see number 4 is that transitional commandment that actually ties in the first 3, the vertical part of our relationship with the Lord, and 5-10, which is the horizontal relationships we have with one another. If we properly reboot ourselves on the Sabbath every week, we will find a level of rest and strengthening in our emotions, in our physical being, and in our spiritual being. So remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy and reboot every Sabbath. Thanks for tuning in to RHM Grafted In. I hope this was a blessing for you.